Hi guys, welcome to the channel. As always, if you are new, please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and feel free to join the live chats, comment below, and I will answer your questions as soon as I see them. Alright, today is Wednesday, oh my god, I'm getting ahead of myself, October 30th. Tomorrow will be Halloween night. I plan to be in Philadelphia Halloween weekend. So I will be there most likely tomorrow night at some point, and then I will be there Friday, Saturday, and half of Sunday. What's up, crybaby? How's it going? Um, so yes, my plans are to go there and bust my ass. Hopefully, come out of the weekend with at least $1,000 in my pocket, maybe a little bit more. That would be great. Um, and also, just in general, kill myself basically. Every weekend when I go down there, I come back tired, but I do it because I know I can, and I like to hustle when I go down there. I like meeting the people, whether they live in Philly or they are tourists. There's a lot of good stories that I have from Philly, just talking to people from all over the world. I've met people down there from Sweden, from Germany, from Europe. My most memorable trip that I've ever had from there, like I've said before, was driving somebody from Philly Airport to JFK Airport. He was a pilot for one of the big airlines, um, and we literally talked for 3 hours about a whole bunch of stuff. Living the dream. Yeah, I hear that, bro. Um, so yeah, also guys, just to let everybody know, if you are watching this, I did put a thing in my community post. My dash cam giveaway was scheduled for November 1st at 8 p.m. That has now been moved to 7 p.m. Okay, the reason why, um, Dustin is driving is doing his live dash cam giveaway from, he's doing his at 8 p.m., which is what I was originally going to do. But um, so so that way, to not compete with him, which would be hard right now anyway, um, I'm doing mine at 7 p.m. So that way you will have a chance to win mine. If you do not win mine, I would highly suggest going over to his page and trying to win his. Um, because I know that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be going over to his channel, and I'm going to try and win one on his channel. And if I don't win one on his channel, I am a Patreon member to him. So then I will try to win one at 9 o'clock on the Patreon account. And if I do win one on the Patreon or on his regular account, I will be giving that away on my channel in November. So with that being said, I wish everybody the best of luck on Friday on either my channel or his. And hopefully you win yourself a dash cam if you need it. So with that being said, guys, like I said, I'm going to um, basically be driving in Philly this weekend. Um, I pretty much hustle my ass off. I drive. When I go down there, I do drive anywhere from 12 to 16 hours in a day. However, I do break it up. So I will do an 8-hour shift in the morning, usually from like 4 p.m. to noon. I'm sorry, 4 a.m. to noon. And then what I will do is I will go back to my hotel, sleep for 6 hours, wake up at 6 p.m., and then go out from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning. And then I'll just continue that cycle of every 8 or 10 hours, taking like a 4 to 6 hour break in between, going back and forth between platforms. What's up, Rideshare Hub? Um, so yeah, I do both Uber and Lyft for those who don't already know. So I drive for both. I love my play Octopus. It's on right now. Um, every person that comes in my car loves that, and they call it the cash cab. I have lights in my car on the floor. I want to get some to put on the ceiling. But yeah, the older generations that know about cash cab, they always refer to it as, oh, are you a cash cab? But yeah, so I drive for both platforms in Philly. Uber, in my personal opinion, Uber is more popular than Lyft, like in most markets. However, in certain parts of Philly that I drive, Lyft is also more popular. It all depends on the time of day. Usually in the mornings between like 5 to 8, 5 to 9 in the morning, Lyft is more popular with the younger crowd, and younger kids going to work and stuff. During the day, Uber is more popular. So I always take advantage of that, and I go back and forth between both platforms. Um, I get minimal sleep, which I know isn't recommended, but so what I do is I'll look at Uber's quests for the week, for the weekend, and I'll see what are the maximum or the best times to, as far as bonuses and things like that. I will maximize my hours during those times for Uber. And then during the day when those times are not available, I will then drive for Lyft during the other times to maximize both terms, to maximize my bonuses and my quests for Lyft. I'm sorry, for Uber. So that way I get the most money out of my time. Um, However, during those times that I am on Uber, if for some reason it's slow or I'm not getting a ride after I'd say 5 or 10 minutes of waiting, then I will turn Lyft on just to be able to maximize my time. We've all said this before, and if you follow any of the other rideshare guys on YouTube, the more platforms you have, whether it's Lyft, Uber, DoorDash, Grubhub, Juno, I think Via is one of them, and a different. I don't have Juno or Via, but other markets do. The more platforms you have running, the more chances you have of getting somebody in your car. And the only way that you make money in this business is having a passenger. Okay? So the more chances you have to get somebody in your car and get somebody from point A to point B, the more money you're going to make. And that's basically how it works. Okay? We don't make money sitting around with our thumbs up our asses. Alright? Like I said, we don't make money sitting around at an airport or anywhere with our thumb up our butt, just waiting for a ride. So you need to really be vigilant on where you sit. If you're sitting somewhere for too long and don't get a ride, my recommendation would be to download the driver app. Download the rider app. Get on the rider app and see where all the Uber cars are sitting, because you might be sitting in a cluster of 10 or 15 cars and you're not going to get a ride that way because everybody's sitting in the same spot. So you would need to see where they're not sitting and move over a little bit, you know what I mean? Go a mile or two east or west or north or south away from all those cars, and maybe you'll get a ping faster. I also, depending on the time of day, do not recommend sitting, because you might waste 30 minutes waiting for a ride when you could have been in Center City. And I'm just using Philly as an example. You go the whole way down to the airport, you're going to waste time sitting there, maybe 20, 30, 40, even an hour long for a ride, when you could have been in Center City giving 2 or 3 rides. They might only be $5 or $10 a piece, but that's $20 to $30 you could have made in that hour that you were just sitting at the airport. And that airport ride might only be a $10 or $15 ride, 20 at the most. So why are you gonna waste your time sitting somewhere when you could be making money? If you're in Philly, what I would recommend doing too is during the mornings, I would recommend staying on the outskirts of Philly. And what I mean by that is like the lower south side, higher north side towards Fishtown, northeast Philly, up in Germantown, West Philly, out past University City, a little bit further out towards like 42nd Street, maybe even like 30th Street, over towards Chester, in those areas. Because especially the further out you go, like Chester areas, depending on the day of the week, a lot of people are getting rides to the airport early in the morning. So if you're a person that likes to drive around 4 in the morning, 4 to 5 in the morning, a lot of people are getting airport rides those times. So if you stay out in those outlining areas, you're either going to get people going to the airport or people going to work. And those rides do pay well. So, like I said, it's completely up to you the hours that you like to work. I honestly prefer to work night shift. I've always been a night owl. I've always worked third shift, even though I actually got a full-time job, and I'll be starting that in like 2 weeks. It's awesome. So I will be working first shift. I originally, when I got this new job, I originally was supposed to go to third shift, same hours, same days. I got a call from the HR lady yesterday or today, and apparently one of their first shift people that they were going to hire decided not to take the job, so they offered it to me. So that's awesome. I really want to go first shift and get my sleep back, get my mind straight, and just be in a better place mentally and physically. So hopefully that helps me do this. But when I drive, I like to drive any time of the day, really. On the weekends, though, I do prefer, like, the best shift for me in my market and even down in Philly is usually like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Just because from the hours of like 6 to 10, you're usually getting either people going home for the night or people going out for the night to like bars and stuff on Fridays and Saturdays. So 6 p.m. to 10, you're usually getting people going out to the clubs. 10 to about 1, you're getting the older crowd. And when I say older, I mean like 40 and 50, like my parents' age, going home to getting out of the bar scene, going home from dinner, things like that. And then from 1 o'clock to 4, 1 o'clock to 5, you're getting the college kids ages 21 to 35-ish going home for the night. So I always like to maximize my times. Whenever I see, like I said, in my market and when I go to Philly, I always try to see where my rides are hour-wise, like throughout the day, and those are the hours I like to drive. I don't like to drive during the day when it's slow. That's why I don't do it in my market. Philadelphia is a big market. Hey Trickster, how's it going? For anybody that doesn't know, I mainly drive during the week in Lancaster, PA, and surrounding areas. That market is not busy much during the week. When I do drive during the week, I try to do it from like 5 a.m. till maybe 9 a.m. during the week. And I can usually make anywhere between $80 to $100, depending on the day and how busy it is. But however, Philadelphia, if anybody doesn't know, this is the biggest city in Pennsylvania. It is huge. It literally takes you, if you are driving from the airport up to Fishtown, and if anybody doesn't know where that is, just go on Google Maps and look at a map of Philly. It is one of the northern parts of Philadelphia. It usually takes probably about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic, to get there, just from Philadelphia Airport up there. So with that being said, Philadelphia is usually always busy. Doesn't matter on the weekends when I go, I've never had a problem. There's been plenty of times where I'm on Uber, and I literally, the only time or the only way I can either take a piss break or go eat is if I turn my app off, because I will literally get 5 minutes from a destination, and I will get another ping on my phone to pick somebody else. So that's why I always said when I go down to Philly, I drive like a madman because my app does not stop pinging. The last time I was down there from Thursday to Sunday, a 4-day weekend, I can't even remember how many hours I drove. I have to go back and look. But I made $900 on Uber and $350 on Lyft in 4 days. So I averaged I think it was $310 or $320 a day. That's not counting my cash tips. I can't remember what those were. But you need to learn your markets. I highly recommend anybody that wants to drive. You can make this a very profitable business for yourself. You just need to learn your market. You need to learn the best hours to drive, even if they're the hours you don't want to drive, okay? A lot of people don't like working Fridays and Saturdays, and I get that. But those are the days. Any single driver will tell you the best times to drive and the best hours to drive are going to be, in literally mostly every single market, are going to be Fridays and Saturday nights when everyone else is off work and wants to go have a good time. So if that doesn't work for you, then maybe you just want to make it a part-time gig. Say you work first or second shift. Maybe you want to just say you start at 7 at your full-time job. Maybe you want to work like 3 a.m. to 6:30 in the morning and pick people up on your way to your job or whatever. But yeah, I'd highly recommend it. Also, going back to the dash cam thing, I'm not sure who else is in my live stream right now. I see 2 people, but I'm not sure how many are in here. Just going back to the dash cam, free dash cam giveaway. To anybody that is my subscriber and is watching right now, or even if you're not, my free dash cam giveaway, just to reiterate myself, it originally was scheduled for November 1st at 8 p.m. It has been moved to November 1st at 7 p.m. Okay, the reason being, Dustin Is Driving is doing his dash cam giveaway Friday, November 1st at 8 p.m. So if you do not have a dash cam yet, 2 things. 1, why not? Okay, it is the first line of defense to protect yourself and deter any single person away from doing anything stupid. Okay, so if you do not have one, go get one. If you don't have the money right now, subscribe to my channel, and Friday, November 1st at 7 p.m., try to win it. If for some reason you are not the winner on my channel, then I tell you right now, go over to Dustin Is Driving's channel, subscribe to his channel, join the live stream at 8 p.m. on his channel on Friday, and hopefully you can win one on his channel at 8 p.m. Okay? Also, if you're not a Patreon member to his Patreon account, he is also giving a dash cam away to his Patreon members. So if you want another chance to do that and a better chance to win one, join his Patreon account, okay? Also, there is a YouTuber by the name of Rideshare Trickster. He is based out of Los Angeles, I believe. He is going to be giving free dash cams away once he hits a certain amount of subscribers. So I think I'm not 100% sure if it's right or not. You'd have to go over to his channel and check. But I think it's I think right now it's like at 500 subscribers, 750, 1,000, 250, 500, 750, and 1,000. Every time he hits one of those benchmarks, he is going to be giving away a dash cam. And then once he hits 1,500 subscribers, I think he said he's going to be giving away an Amazon gift card for a certain amount of money. I'm not sure what. But do yourself a favor. He has really good content. He is a really good friend to the Rideshare Professor. So if you have not checked his channel out, go ahead and check his channel out also. He has a lot of really good knowledge. So yeah, those are the things I do. But I highly recommend having a dash cam. Right now I am driving to a friend's house, coffee. How's it going? I am going to, like I said, since you just joined the channel, This weekend I'm going to Philly. I'm either going to be going late night Thursday. So I'm not sure what time I'm going to get into Philly on Thursday, whether it's going to be earlier in the morning or later at night. But I will be going into Philly Thursday, driving Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and like half a Sunday, and just hopefully hustle and see how much money I can get, bro. That's the name of the game. And I'm lucky that I know last week is considered Halloween weekend in my area, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people out next weekend and just having a good time at the bars. So, Coffee, what market do you drive in? Are you in Philly? I think you told me you were in Philly. And there is a Tesla beside me. I love the way they look. Very beautiful cars. I couldn't ever drive one. I don't think I'd want to drive one, even though they look really, really nice. I couldn't get over the fact of having to charge it and like be mindful of having to charge my car. I mean, I have a hybrid. That's fine because if I run out of electric, I have gas. Oh, you're in DC. I would love to drive in DC. I'm not sure, like, I would assume it's almost exactly like Philly as far as how busy it is. The first time I drove in Philly, I kind of was nervous. It was a little bit crazy. It is a lot more hectic. But now that I drive there, I think I'm definitely more of an aggressive driver. Because you have to be. Anybody that drives in a bigger market will tell you have to be an aggressive driver. Like I said, I'm from Lancaster, PA. It's more laid back. People aren't as, how do I put this? People aren't as angry. It's not as busy as a bigger market. So I definitely will say anybody that drives in a bigger market, I give you a hands up and applaud, even though I can't right now because I'm driving. Because it does take a lot to drive in a bigger market. You have more cars on the road, more people on the road. It's just busier in general. And you always have to have your eyes and ears open to things that are happening around you. That's why I always say, if you do drive a lot, like I do on the weekends in Philly, you need to take breaks. Okay? Do not, if you're planning on being on the road, and I know people that do it. I do it when I'm down in Philly. I will drive 8 or 10 hours on Uber, and I actually try to maximize my hours on Uber. So I'll try and do 12 hours on Uber, and then once I hit my max for Uber, I'll switch over to Lyft, and I'll do another maybe 4 to 6 hours on Lyft. So there could be nights and days where I do 18 hours a day driving, which I always say is not good. You don't want to drive that much because your mind and your body in general, it's not good for you. But I do it in moderation when I go down there. If I drive on a Friday, so my original plan, yeah, DC is crazy. Philly is crazy. DC's like, so I would rank eastern cities, like on the eastern seaboard, I would rank New York number 1. I would rank Washington, D.C. number 2. And then Philly and Georgia or Atlanta, are almost the exact same. Like, or even Atlanta might be just as busy as D.C. Philly would be like number 5 or 4-ish. It'd probably be New York City. I don't know. I kind of think Georgia would be crazier or Atlanta would be crazier than DC, just because it might be about the same size or a little bit bigger. But Atlanta, in my opinion, is more of a centralized hub as far as transportation goes. I mean, it's kind of like Chicago. It's basically a hub for trucks, for just transportation in general. I mean, FedEx throws all their stuff that way, like airport wise, and then they branch it out. I mean, Georgia is or Atlanta. I keep saying Georgia. Atlanta is pretty much centrally located right in the state, and then people fly into Atlanta and say you're going south to Florida, west to any of those states, or northwise to like, to, you know what I mean? It's centrally located. So I would probably say New York City's craziest, and then it would be a tie between Washington D.C. and Atlanta, and then Philadelphia again would either be third or fourth depending on how you rank Atlanta and Washington D.C. But also on that note, so you got to know your markets, guys. Even your busy markets are going to have areas that are slow. I see there's 4 people. What's up, No Limitation? How's it going, boss? All markets, whether it's a busy weekend or a slow weekend or a holiday weekend, they're going to have slow areas and heavy areas, and you need to know your times and what your areas are. I would highly recommend anybody, no matter what market you're in, any Facebook page. You can go on Facebook these days and you can find an Uber or a Lyft chat room or group page for pretty much every single market that you're in. And I'm pretty sure most people in there, if you ask them a question, they'll answer it or they'll talk to you. Everyone's gonna have a question. But like, what I try to do when I go to Philly, if I'm driving, let's say in the middle of the night, and for some reason there's no, it's not busy as far as like picking people up from the bars, I will usually go close to the train station and sit there for a little bit and see if I can pick somebody up. All markets have hot spots, so you need to learn what times of day are the best times to be near those hot spots. And once you do this for a while, if you're brand new, you're not going to know this stuff right away. That's why I say to join a Facebook group and talk to people about them. See if you can get any good pointers as far as what hours to drive in your area and things like that. But once you do it for a couple months, you should know like what hours are good to drive in your market, where's the best places to sit, where the busiest bars are, things like that. Are the cheesesteaks in Philly as good as they say? Honestly, I had a cheesesteak from Philly when I was younger, when I went on a class. I think I was like 15 or 16. But when I go to Philly, I don't usually eat at any of the local places. Usually what I will do, coffee, when I get up in the morning, I have a little cooler bag with me that I keep a pack of ice in, and I'll take Ziploc bags, and when I'm at the hotel, I'll fill those Ziploc bags up with ice. I don't have to pay for it, it's free. I'll fill them up with ice, okay? I will stop at a gas station, whether it be a Wawa or wherever, and I will get my food for the day, or at least for the morning. I'll get like a wrap, maybe an orange juice, stuff like that. I do usually get my breakfast and my lunch together, and I'll put it in my cooler bag. So that way I don't have to stop driving, or I don't have to find a place to get food later when I'm driving. I will just do it that way. And then usually around dinner time, I will stop somewhere and get something. I'll actually stop and I will get actual food, and I'll actually stop and sit somewhere and try to basically maximize my driving time. So I always, in the morning when I eat, or in the morning when I stop and get my stuff, like I'll stop, I'll get my coffee, I'll get maybe one or two sodas or energy drinks or whatever I need to get me through the day. I'll get all that stuff in the morning and I'll put it in my cooler and I'll sit it either, I'll strap it to the bottom of my driver's side seat, like where below my knees, or I'll even put it on my passenger side close to me. So that way somebody can still get in my passenger side if they need to. Or I'll even sometimes put it in my trunk. But I always try to prepare myself for the day. That way I can maximize my driving time. And then later in the day, when it gets a little bit slower before the rush hour, I say like around 4 p.m. if I'm driving, I will stop. I'll turn my apps off. I'll find the closest either restaurant, or I try not to go to McDonald's or Burger King or things like that too much. When I'm usually down in Philly, I try to eat a lot of wraps. I try to eat healthier when I'm driving, even though it is really hard because you want to try to maximize your drive time. If I find myself close to a McDonald's, um, I will sometimes just stop there. But usually I'll try to get like a grilled chicken sandwich or a grilled chicken wrap, something that's maybe not healthy, but it's not as bad as a double cheeseburger with fries, things like that. I do need to lose weight, obviously. We're here. I got my gut. Can't help that. Um, so I am trying to manage my food. So when I drive hard and when I drive all weekend like that, like I'm always on here talking about you need to hustle, you need to make as much as you can. It all depends on how you want to do it, okay, guys? If you want to go out on a weekend and only drive for 5 or 6 hours on a night and make that money, then go for it. I mean, like last weekend, I literally drove Friday and Saturday. I think a combined total of like 10 hours, and I made $360 in 10 hours. That's awesome. But you need to do your market how you want to do your market. If you don't want to drive for, like this weekend, I'm going to go down there and I'm probably going to put in maybe 40 to 50 hours of driving time in 4 days. A lot of people think that's crazy, but I know, like, I invested money in a hotel to go down there to make more money than I normally make up here. So I'm already negative $200 in the hole before I even start driving. So when I go down to Philly, I always get a hotel, and I always have that investment that I need to recoup before I even start making a profit. So that's why I say, know your business, know what you can do, okay? Um, I work, when I go down there, the very first weekend I was down there, or the very first time I went down to Philly, I only went down for one night. I drove for, I want to say 10 hours down there, and I ended up making $350 in one day. However, it took me 2 hours. It was like an hour and 45 minutes to get down and an hour and 45 minutes to get back. I did have rides down. I did take 3 or 4 people. Like I put destination mode on the way down, and I did take 3 or 4 people down there, like headed down that way. But coming back, I didn't have anybody, and I was driving back. I got done. I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning in Philly. I got done driving, and I did not get home until like 5 in the morning. And I'll tell you right now, on the way back home, that hour and 45 minutes, it sucked so bad because it was literally almost a straight drive. The highways they're not that windy. They were pretty straight. And it sucked because there was a couple times where I felt myself falling asleep. I ended up having the window open the whole way for the cold air to keep me up. It wasn't a great experience. And I told myself when I got home, that if I ever go down to Philly again, I'm just going to invest in a hotel and stay down there on the weekend, because I didn't want to take the chance of me crashing my car or hitting somebody or taking somebody else's life, because I fall asleep at the wheel. So, Coffee, I would love to come down to DC. I would definitely look forward to it. The only problem with that is I can't drive Uber in DC. It would have to be just Lyft. So you tell me, Coffee. And I don't even know if I could drive Lyft down there. I would honestly have to just invest in a hotel and see. And maybe what I would do, I guess, maybe what I could do is come down there for a day and walk around and stuff, see if it would let me sign on to the apps or not. Sign on to Lyft anyway. I know I can do Lyft from driving in Philly. There was a couple times when I was in Philly, I had to Uber people over to the Jersey Shore or to Jersey in general. And the good thing about that is I know from doing that I can go on Lyft and I can set my phone for destination mode back into Philly. So there's chances I can get rides back into Philly. I also know driving in Philly, I've taken people to Delaware already, Wilmington, Delaware, from Philly airport. So I know coming from Delaware, I can do destination mode also. So with that being said, I'm not sure about Washington. I don't know if Washington would, but I would definitely like to try, like, if I could come down there. I know Washington, there's a cheesecake factory, which if anybody has never been to the Cheesecake Factory, I highly recommend it. Their food is amazing. So yeah, I would definitely come down there, maybe and just check some local stuff out. I would love to go down there again and at some point go to the Holocaust Museum. Maybe some of the Air and Space Museum. I highly recommend anybody, if you ever find yourself in Washington or close to it, Washington, D.C., just from a historical standpoint, check it out. It's amazing. If you have kids, there's a lot of free things to do. Basically anything near the National Mall. All the, like, Air and Space Museum, all the Smithsonian's, they're all free. So you don't have to pay to get into those. But it's definitely worth checking out. And I'll probably end up doing that. So, yeah, but Coffee, the only way I would be able to do that, if I do drive down there, is through Lyft. And I'm not sure, to be honest, it would be worth it money-wise. So, yeah, I'm not sure if it would be worth it money-wise. I know Philly is a really great market. That's why I go there. I can do both apps if Uber's slow, even though it usually isn't. But if Uber's slow, I can get on Lyft and I can double, for lack of a better word, double fist it. I can double team it and I can hopefully get a ride on one or the other. But yeah, so that's why I like going there. They have the Philly airport, which is huge. It is an international airport, so again, you get lots of rides there. Their train station is huge. It connects with New York City and also connects with, like, the lines going south, so you have a lot of traffic there. Just in general, it is a busy city. It is one of the bigger cities on the eastern coast, so you get a lot of traffic. But with that said, guys, again, this is Halloween weekend. Whether it's before or after, it doesn't really matter. It's still going to be a busy weekend. So do me a favor, guys. Stay safe out there. Drive safe. Keep your passengers safe. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 7 a.m. for the live stream dash cam giveaway. All right, guys. Rideshare PA out. Take care and have a good weekend, guys.